Kim died from pneumonia, but there's the first coroner's report that said that she died. It was ruled a homicide, and they found toxins in her body to prove that she had been poisoned. You know, they have poisons that. Then right after that, Al had a meeting, and I was going to meet up with him because we were in Vegas, and then the next thing you know, he must be the luckiest, because it seems like everybody that worked at Uptown Records from the very beginning is gone. Just him. I guess Al disappointed you. You know, it's...
Y'all get in here, cuz the feds are officially reopening Kim Porter's case after her ex-boyfriend, Al B. Sure, submitted major evidence to them about how Diddy took him and Porter out, including proof that Diddy stole Kim's laptop, manipulated her autopsy results, put his hands on her multiple times, and even paid his goons to threaten him to stay away from Quincy's life, so folks would think he was as if this wasn't bad enough. Kim's personal diary is now being turned into a book, and a few pages of her infamous tell-all book have leaked online, and it reveals extremely graphic details about what Diddy did to her at the time of Kim's death. There was a lot of shady things going on, and Al B. Sure was one of the first people to speak out about it. But before he could even submit the evidence to the police, he suffered a health emergency and went into a coma. However, Al B. is back again, and he is not letting up on Diddy until he's charged with Kim. Now, like I said before, there were a lot of inconsistencies in this investigation, and Al B. Sure was one of the first people to point it out. For starters, it was reported that Kim died from pneumonia. However, the coroner who initially was put on the case, Ed Winter, concluded that her death was a homicide when he found toxins in her body. And get this, y'all, just before Ed went public about his findings, he was suddenly fired from the investigation and replaced with a coroner that did. He requested to make it that much worse. The second coroner completely disregarded Ed's findings and just went on to conclude that Kim died from pneumonia, even though Kim's family and doctors said she didn't have any prior health conditions.
Died from pneumonia, but there's the first coroner's report that said that she died. It was ruled a homicide, and they found toxins in her body to prove that she had been poisoned. You know, they have poisons that create heart attack and pneumonia-like symptoms.
Not only that, but Kim is not the first high-profile celebrity that Ed Winter was in charge of. He's actually the same coroner who was responsible for investigating the deaths of Michael Jackson, Whitney Houston, Brittany Murphy, Paul Walker, Tom Petty, and Corey High. This man is at the top of his game. So if he says there were toxins in Kim's body, then there were definitely toxins present, as if things couldn't get any shadier. When people started digging into all this and began connecting the dots, Ed Winter suddenly died too. And of course people started side-eyeing Diddy for this, cuz the timing was just so convenient. Do y'all know how much evidence Ed would have given to the police if he didn't suddenly drop dead just weeks before Cassie's lawsuit came out? The question surrounding Kim's actual cause of death got even worse when Al Sure put up an IG post hinting at her possibly being, "Yeah, y'all heard that right?" Al posted this video of him crying with the caption, "Just found this footage from the morning I learned of Kim Porter's and how it ripped the soul from my physical body. I do know very clearly that Kimberly didn't just check out all of a sudden over pneumonia. That's some bullish. Yeah, that man was not here for that BS about her having some dang pneumonia. Cause it was clear as day that Diddy made the second coroner slap that on there so he could get away with it. But Albie did not end it there. Because after Diddy's recent arrest, he came back again. And this time he gave us a very detailed explanation on how Diddy used his entourage to successfully silence him by putting him in a coma and trying to end his life on multiple occasions. He even said he somehow tried informing law enforcement about the threat on his life. But they were also paid off, so nobody took him seriously. And do y'all remember the allegation about Kim's stolen laptop? Al confirmed this when he said he stole it so he could erase the contents of her book and any evidence that could incriminate him. He said, for over a decade and a half, I've been posting about and tagging random law enforcement agencies in hopes to protect loved ones, avoid deaths and tragedies that could have all been avoided. Despite this, I've been ignored, ridiculed, and medically silenced to cover up all these crimes you're all now aware of by a very aggressive PR team and a costly campaign to silence and physically harm me from exposing it, only aimed to prevent me from further sharing publicly the facts and insights that Lady K shared with me during our frequent and intimate conversations in her selfless attempts to save my life by sharing frequent plans to do harm, and possibly by ending my life. I am writing this to formally request an investigation into an entire group of individuals who worked at or around the residence of Miss Kimberly Porter, including the publicist who assisted. In drafting this, it's come to my attention that these persons were also instructed to steal her computer and mobile devices, which contain her original book notes. And I'll ain't tell a single lie, because right after he made this post, a since-deleted investigative article by the popular blogger Hollywood Street King also started going viral. And in this article, Hollywood Street King actually spoke to a few of Kim's family members. And it turns out they also suspect a foul play, according to the article. When Kim's autopsy concluded that she had died from pneumonia that she never had, there were questions about the manner in which she died. There were even reports at the time that Kim's family wanted her body exhumed for a proper investigation. But Diddy didn't sign the paperwork for it to get done. This article also claims that Kim was actually found on her bed with red fluid on her pillowcases, and a slight trail of red fluid on the bedroom floor that led to the bathroom. She was also strategically placed on the bed to mess with the police investigation. Oh, but it gets even shadier, y'all, because a private conversation between one of Kim's family members and the publisher of her book leaked. And in this message, the publisher accused Diddy of sending them a cease and desist, ordering them not to release the book and return all the files that Kim had given them to write about. The message read, "Just wanted to let you know that Sean has put the clamps on Kim Porter's book for making it to the shelves. Yeah, he done put that pressure on all parties that were involved in the process of putting this book together. Sean's lawyers have stepped up to the plate and hit them with that paperwork. Also, he's asking for any information, footage, documents, etc. that contain private information about him or Kim to be seized. And they have 3 business days to surrender. Paperwork was served to at least 2 of the individuals that were involved this past Thursday. Just thought I'd let you know, despite Diddy successfully stopping the publication of the book. The publishers gave us a rundown of some of the alleged contents of the book, and he said, and I quote, some of the things in the book covers Diddy's gay relationships, footage of those encounters, the men he slept with, STDs, Diddy giving Usher an STD, and the explosive encounter between Diddy and Usher's mom, Mary JBL, being pregnant by Diddy, and of course she terminated it. The beating she took, pushing him down the steps in 2007, and breaking his foot. Also, how she used a strap-on to please Diddy, and how she would hysterically cry alone after doing so. How she protected I'll be sure from running to Diddy and would call him to warn him not to show up to certain places to avoid trouble. Child, Kim was really getting ready to destroy Diddy's whole career. Y'all, mind you, Diddy even went as far as getting rid of her laptop so he could dispose of the evidence. And can we talk about how all the people that Diddy started off with in his career either ended up dying off for strange reasons or ended up in a coma, except for him?